You know, there's something I hear from friends and viewers all the time. People who say, I used to be so sharp, but now I walk into a room and forget why I'm there. Or, it takes me twice as long to finish a crossword puzzle these days. And if that sounds familiar, I want you to know, you're not alone. Our brains change as we age, but here's the good news. What we eat can make a huge difference in keeping our minds clear and focused, even after 75. Today, we're talking about one key nutrient that becomes especially important for brain health as we get older, and the 5 delicious foods that pack the most of it. Because let's be honest, nobody wants to rely on pills or complicated routines. The best solutions are often the simplest, right there in your kitchen. Now, before we get into the foods, let's talk about why this nutrient matters so much. You see, as we age, our brains naturally start to slow down a little. Connections between brain cells aren't as quick as they used to be, and sometimes it feels like our memory or focus just isn't what it once was. But research shows that certain nutrients can actually help protect our brain cells, improve blood flow, and even support the growth of new connections. And one of the most powerful? Omega-3 fatty acids. You've probably heard of omega-3s before. They're famous for being good for your heart. But what's less talked about is how crucial they are for your brain, especially after 75. These healthy fats help reduce inflammation, which can damage brain cells over time, and they play a key role in keeping your memory sharp. The problem? Many of us don't get enough of them as we age. So, let's fix that. Here's the first food you'll want to add to your plate more often. Wild-caught salmon. Now, I know fish isn't everyone's favorite, but hear me out. Wild salmon is one of the richest sources of omega-3s, particularly a type called DHA, which is like premium fuel for your brain. Studies have shown that older adults who eat fatty fish regularly tend to have better focus and even a lower risk of memory problems. And here's a little tip. If you're not a fan of the taste, try baking it with a bit of lemon and herbs. The milder flavor might surprise you. Or, if cooking fish feels like too much work, canned salmon is a great budget-friendly option that's just as nutritious. Now, the second brain-boosting food is one you might already have in your pantry: walnuts. These little guys are shaped like brains for a reason. Walnuts are packed with plant-based omega-3s, along with antioxidants that help protect your brain from wear and tear. A small handful a day is all you need. Sprinkle them on oatmeal, toss them in a salad, or just enjoy them as a snack. And here's something I love about walnuts. They're easy. No prep, no fuss. Just grab and go. That's the kind of food that fits into real life, right? Now, let's talk about the third food: flax seeds. These tiny seeds are a powerhouse when it comes to omega-3s, especially if you're not big on fish. You can sprinkle ground flax seeds on yogurt, blend them into smoothies, or even mix them into muffin batter. They add a mild, nutty flavor and a big brain boost. And here's why flax seeds are so great. They're also high in fiber, which means they're good for your digestion and your brain. A happy gut often means a sharper mind, so it's a win-win. Now we've covered 3 fantastic foods so far: salmon, walnuts, and flax seeds. But there are 2 more I'm excited to share with you. These next ones might surprise you, because they're not always talked about when it comes to brain health, but they're just as important. So, let's keep going. Because when it comes to staying sharp and focused, every bite counts. Now, I'll bet you didn't expect this next brain-boosting food to make the list. But trust me, it's a game changer. I'm talking about eggs. Yes, good old eggs. Now, you might be thinking, aren't eggs just for breakfast? But here's the thing. They're one of the easiest and most affordable ways to get a nutrient called choline, which is like a secret weapon for your brain. Choline helps produce acetylcholine, a chemical that's crucial for memory and learning. And as we get older, our bodies don't make as much of it naturally, so we have to get it from our food. Egg yolks are one of the best sources out there. Now, I know there's been some debate over the years about eggs and cholesterol, but unless your doctor has told you otherwise, most research shows that eating an egg or two a day is perfectly fine and great for your brain. If you're tired of plain scrambled eggs, try mixing in some spinach or mushrooms for an extra nutrient kick. Or, if you're not a big breakfast person, hard-boiled eggs make a perfect snack. Keep a few in the fridge for when you need something quick and satisfying. Now, let's move on to the fifth and final food. And this one might just be the most delicious of all. Dark leafy greens, like spinach, kale, and Swiss chard. I know. You've probably heard, eat your greens, 1,000 times. But here's why they're especially important after 75. These greens are loaded with folate, vitamin K, and antioxidants, all of which help protect your brain from aging too fast. Studies have found that people who eat leafy greens every day have brains that function years younger than those who don't. And the best part? You don't need to eat a mountain of them. Just a cup or two a day, whether it's in a salad, sautéed with garlic, or blended into a soup, can make a real difference. Now, if chewing tough greens is an issue, try wilting them slightly or blending them into a smoothie with some fruit to sweeten it up. Even a handful of baby spinach in an omelet or a stir-fry counts. The key is to find ways to make them enjoyable, because when food tastes good, you're more likely to eat it regularly. So, let's take a quick step back. We've covered 5 incredible foods so far: salmon, walnuts, flax seeds, eggs, and dark leafy greens, all packed with the nutrients your brain craves as you age. But here's something important. It's not just about what you eat, but how you eat it. You see, our bodies absorb nutrients better when they're part of a balanced meal. So instead of just snacking on walnuts alone, try pairing them with some Greek yogurt for protein, or adding salmon to a salad full of colorful veggies. When these foods work together, they do even more for your brain. And speaking of balance, let's talk about one more thing that can supercharge the benefits of these brain foods. It's not another ingredient, but a simple habit: staying hydrated. Even mild dehydration can make you feel foggy and forgetful, so drinking enough water is just as important as what's on your plate. Try keeping a glass of water nearby during meals, or sipping on herbal tea throughout the day. Now, I know change can feel overwhelming, especially when it comes to food. Maybe you're thinking, how am I supposed to add all these things to my diet? But here's the good news. You don't have to do it all at once. Start with one of these foods this week. Maybe it's adding a handful of walnuts to your oatmeal, or trying a new salmon recipe. Small steps add up. And before we wrap up this part, I want to remind you, your brain is always capable of change, no matter your age. Every bite of these nourishing foods is a step toward a sharper, clearer mind. So why not pick one to try today? Now, there's still more to explore, like how to make these foods even more effective, and a few surprising things that might be sabotaging your brain health without you realizing it. But we'll save that for next time. For now, focus on enjoying these 5 foods and trust that you're giving your brain exactly what it needs to thrive. You know, I was talking to a friend recently who told me something that really stuck with me. She said, "I don't mind getting older. I just want to make sure I'm still me as the years go by." And that's exactly what we're doing here, giving your brain the tools it needs to stay sharp, focused, and fully you for years to come. Now, we've already covered 5 incredible foods that deliver the brain-boosting power of omega-3s, choline, and antioxidants. But let's talk about how to make them work even better for you. Because here's the truth. What you avoid can be just as important as what you eat. Take processed foods, for example. Things like packaged snacks, sugary cereals, or frozen meals loaded with preservatives might be convenient, but they often contain unhealthy fats and additives that increase inflammation in the body, including your brain. And when your brain is inflamed, it's like trying to think through a fog. Now, I'm not saying you can never enjoy a treat. Life's too short for that. But the more you can focus on whole, real foods, the better your brain will function. Another surprising saboteur? Too much salt. High sodium intake doesn't just raise blood pressure. It can actually reduce blood flow to the brain over time. And since good circulation is key for focus and memory, it's worth paying attention to. Instead of reaching for the salt shaker, try flavoring your food with herbs, garlic, or a squeeze of lemon. Your taste buds will adjust faster than you think. Now, let's talk about timing. Did you know that when you eat can impact your brain just as much as what you eat? Skipping meals, especially breakfast, can leave you feeling sluggish and forgetful. Your brain runs on glucose, and when it doesn't get steady fuel, it struggles to stay sharp. So try to eat regular balanced meals. And if you're not hungry first thing in the morning, even a small snack, like a hard-boiled egg or a handful of walnuts, can make a big difference. Here's another little tip. Chew your food well. It might sound too simple, but digestion starts in your mouth, and breaking down food properly helps your body absorb all those precious nutrients. Plus, eating slowly gives your brain time to register when you're full, so you're less likely to overeat and feel sluggish afterward. Now, I want to take a moment to really celebrate how far we've come. Think about it. Just by adding salmon, walnuts, flax seeds, eggs, and leafy greens to your diet, you're giving your brain the best possible chance to stay strong and clear. And when you pair that with drinking enough water, cutting back on processed foods, and eating mindfully, that's when the real magic happens. But here's the most important thing. None of this has to be perfect. Some days you'll eat all the right things and feel amazing. Other days, life happens, and that's okay. What matters is that you're trying, that you're making small, steady choices that add up over time. Because when it comes to your brain, every good choice counts. So here's my challenge to you. Pick one thing from this video to focus on this week. Maybe it's adding leafy greens to your dinners or swapping out a processed snack for a handful of walnuts. Just one small change. And when you've got that down, add another. Before you know it, these habits will feel like second nature, and your brain will thank you for it. I'd love to hear how it's going for you, what changes you've tried, what foods you've discovered you love. Drop a comment below, and let's keep the conversation going. And if you found this helpful, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more tips on living your best life at any age. Because here's the truth. You're never too old to feel vibrant, sharp, and fully yourself. Here's to good food, a strong mind, and all the years ahead. Cheers.